This is Zombie Chickens Podcast, where two heads is better than one, even if they're undead. My name is Megan.
And my name is Marlijn.
And in this episode, we will be doing or discussing fetishes.
Yes, all the weird and the fanatic paraphilia.
Yes, we also would like to put in a disclaimer before we start this episode, just to say that we will be discussing sexual content, so sexual fetishes, as well as we do not mean to
offend anyone.
Anybody.
It's just something that we find very interesting and, I mean, let's face it, weird. It's the ones I found were it's weird for me because I don't comprehend the fetish, literally the fetish behind it. It's because, I mean, it's not something that gets me on.
Yeah.
That's why I find it weird.
Yeah,
but
it's just,
I mean,
again, to each their own.
Yeah. Whatever floats your boat. As long as it doesn't hurt anyone.
Okay, so you're going to start us off?
Yes. So what I did was, I just find the whole thing about fetishes very interesting. So I was looking at the whole psychology behind it. Because, I mean, I did understand fetish, but I didn't really comprehend how deep it really goes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, Nikki Hodgson, she's a sex expert, and she explains that traditionally a fetish is an object or body part that someone needs present in order to experience sexual arousal, which I found was a really good explanation, because I just thought that a fetish was a kink, something that you'd like to think of. But in most cases, it's where, you know, it needs to be present for them to be aroused.
Isn't it just thinking about it gets them aroused as well?
I think it depends on the fetish.
Probably.
It really depends on the fetish and your fetish specifically.
Yeah.
It really depends on the fetish, because Martin Kafka, he explains that partialism, it's the sexual interest in a specific body part, forms also part of a fetishism. So if you, for instance, like
calves,
yeah, or collarbones. It forms part of a fetish because you are into it. I mean, it's a very difficult thing to actually to comprehend fetishism, because it's different in each way. And I mean, you'll find that, you know, whatever I'm listing here or explaining, it's very difficult, because it's all just sort of guesswork. There's no precise way of saying how it really came to be that this fetish started. I mean, it's literally guesswork, because we don't really understand the brain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is emotions? It's part of the brain. It's we don't understand it all fully. Fetishism usually becomes evident during puberty, and more men have it than women. That's interesting.
Okay.
So women do have it, but
it's more
prominent than men.
Yeah.
And with women, it's more visual. Men are visually sensitive, but women it's more visually for women than for men. And not just, it's difficult to explain. But let's just go on, we'll get there. And also because why it's easier for women, not easier, but why women have it less than men, it's because female sexuality is more fluid, it's unchanging. And again, with females, it's with the whole visual part, it's a bit of a difficult subject to grasp, the whole visual part, because I mean, what is sex not? It's also a visual thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I think with men it's more of a feeling thing.
Meaning a woman can visualize something or see something to be aroused, where a man needs to touch or physically get in contact with something.
Yeah, physically see it in cases like that. The whole thing about the puberty part, it's very interesting. I was listening to this podcast, and they were describing theories of sexual imprinting.
Okay.
Now, it's a lot of guesswork. So they were describing that if you look at the bird world of a cuckoo, let's say a cuckoo, because what they normally do is they would go to a nest, they would throw out the eggs in the nest, they would lay their own eggs in it, or one egg, and the mother would tend to the cuckoo.
Yeah.
Cuckoo.
Yeah.
And at the end, the cuckoo would, if there is any remaining eggs, would kill his sibling. Now, what happens with other birds is you get similar birds that do the same, that lay eggs in other nests. So what happens is, sexual imprinting happens where it's a different species from its so-called step sibling. But it will have sexual imprinting on that species and not of its own species.
Okay.
That's interesting. So if it would come into contact with its own species, it will have no sexual arousal.
Yeah.
But if it comes into contact with the species that it was grown up with, it does.
It does.
That's interesting. Now the thing about the cuckoo is, which is different. The mother or the father, they didn't really describe which one it was, but they would visit whenever the other mother is not around.
Okay.
So the cuckoo does realize and sexually imprints on the cuckoo and not the sibling itself. The step sibling.
Isn't that the way they make sure that it imprints on their species is by visiting?
Exactly. It's quite interesting.
Okay.
And they do theorize that sexual imprinting happens with humans as well. But it's different though how it happens to us. It's not to do about your mother and stepmother and stuff like that. It's more of a literal sexual desire. It's more to do about where humans learn to recognize sexually desirable features and activities during childhood. Like, for instance, you walk upon your mother kissing or having sex or whichever. It's those type of things. And then also, I think someone described it, I can't remember, I didn't write his name down, but how fetishes can start at that age, at a young adolescent age, is where you get corporal punishment, where you will find that they will be aroused after a beating. Because one, physically, there's a lot of nerve endings in the buttocks. So you will receive a sort of stimulation with the beating. Therefore, you have, I'm not saying that you got beaten up in primary school or in whatever year and now you're into BDSM. It's just sort of a inclination towards how fetishes can start.
Okay.
It's just very interesting. And they also say that fetishism could result when a child is imprinted with an overly narrow or incorrect concept of a sex object. Again, that's a whole corporal punishment. Or the whole thing about you did something bad and something was done with, a rap on the wrist, or, your ear was twisted or anything of that sort.
Yeah.
And it gives you that sort of stimuli. Let's call it a stimuli, that arousal. But it's very, very interesting. Also, one of the things that they mentioned is neurological differences may play a role. And that's the whole thing. Whereas fetishism just doesn't come with people with neurological problems or disorders. It happens.
With everyone, yeah.
Yes. Now, this guy, I can't really pronounce his full name, but let's go with his surname. Ramachandran. Right. He observed that the reason processing sensory input from the feet lies immediately next to the reason processing genital stimulation, and suggests an accidental link between the two. Therefore, you have a foot fetish.
Okay.
And because foot fetishes are one of the most common
ones.
It's because literally the two lie literally next together, and there just might be a little slip of the links, and that's why you find it intriguing. But I mean, it's really interesting work. The only thing that I find problematic is there's really no on it, like a real definite way of finding these things out, because fetishism is not something that you talk about. Like the podcast that I was listening to, the guy was suggesting that fetishism started in the Victorian age, because that's when privacy started. No one had privacy previous to that, because you had a small house with maybe 2 or 3 rooms. The kids would encounter their parents or someone having sex somewhere.
That's true.
And also in the Victorian age, sex is described as something that's not immoral, but it's not something you talk about.
Yeah.
And it's something that's not seen.
Yeah.
And he thinks that that's one of the reasons why fetishes started, because it's not something that's talked about, it's not something that was seen.
Okay.
So it's a whole psychological thing behind it, which is very interesting. I have to say, it's very interesting. Right. So let's go to the my list. I will give you 5.
Okay.
So the first one, trichophiliac. What do you think it is? Well, you know that one, actually.
Yeah, I read about this one. So it's the, what do you call it? Getting arousal from long hair.
That is. And it's not only just long hair. So it is someone that feels sexually aroused or attracted to human hair. It's mainly human hair. I couldn't really find any definitive thing where it's animal hair. I think the common one is human hair.
Yeah.
And it can be any type of hair. So it can be either armpit, pubic, or chest hair, or hair of the head.
So not just
any of those. So the interesting part is that I actually want to just throw in there from art perspective is that, again, if you look at all of the Victorian paintings, you would literally notice that none of them have pubic hair. None of them. It's because pubic hair is associated with sex. And that's something they didn't want to, associate with all of the nudes. If you look at, I love that painting. It's Courbet's, I think it's Birth of the World. You have this massive vagina with all of its beautiful pubic hair. And that painting was so... I think it got a lot of critique about that, because it's one of the first vaginas where you actually see pubic hair.
Okay.
And also, if you really want to go into it, you also get this whole thing about the invisible corset, where all the breasts are, very firm and I want to say
perky.
Thank you, perky. But anyways, let's go back to trichophiliac. So it's any hair. Mainly, it's the popular one is, your normal hair on your head. So the interesting part is that both women and men can develop this paraphilia.
Okay.
Because it's not just, just hair. And also usually they are attracted to a specific type of hair. So it's either long, short, curly, black. So
it's any type of hair.
It's a specific one. They are attracted to a specific one. So let's say I have trichophiliac, which I don't have. I would say I'm attracted to medium length black hair.
So it's just that
Asian hair. Let's say Asian hair, because they have beautiful hair. So let's just say, so that's very specific and very niche. So they wouldn't just say, okay, short curly hair, or just
it's
any
not
type
a broad
of hair. It's not a broad thing.
Yeah.
It's normally one person. Every person have a specific type of hair that they prefer. Like if it's arm hair or whichever it is. Whichever it is. Also, with the hair that you have in your head, it's either pulling, smelling. In some fucking weird cases, I'm sorry for those. Eat it.
What?
And they like the smell of shampoos.
Okay.
And they do say, I did read something, I didn't write it down because it's something I don't really comprehend, but it's something where it started as a kid, where they like to see, all those shampoo ads, and that's where it sort of starts, and it gradually progresses.
I just realized, you remember Charlie's Angels, that weird guy that used to cut their hair off and smell it, that he probably had that fetish.
Most probably.
And it started with him because where he lived in the, I want to say nunnery, where they actually cut his hair, and it started with that, where his fetish came from.
Oh.
So it was probably a fetish. Very interesting.
That's actually quite interesting, because they normally cover their hair, don't they? The nuns.
No, they cut his hair.
Oh, I see.
And I don't know, I can't remember them. The movie is really old, I can't remember them. But yeah, I just remember him cutting their hair and like smelling it.
Okay, well, I have here that there's this one case, Danilo Restivo. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison for killing 2 women, one in Italy, one in the UK. He cut their breasts off with strands of hair placed in their hands. It's quite weird.
Okay.
And not only that, 15 women reported their hair being cut on the bus involuntarily.
What?
He did some weird stuff. Go check him out.
Okay.
But yeah, he definitely liked hair. I don't know what he did with it. I didn't really read into his whole story, but I think I'd like to. Just to see what he did with the hair. If he kept it, like, let's say, marked in a bottle.
He probably kept it somewhere. I don't think he'll go through all that effort and not keep it.
But okay, so the next one is quite an easy one to guess. Obophilia.
I read that one as well. where you get arousal from sleep. Well, not from, what do you call it, homeless people.
Yeah, or people that literally have nothing. I don't understand that.
There's a porn genre for that, though.
Oh, Jesus.
If you did not know. Yeah.
I didn't know, but good to know.
There's literally a porn genre for
I think
homeless.
there's probably a porn genre for everything you
that
can
is
think of.
very true. But yeah, it's literally them going to a homeless person and saying, "Would you like to have a shower?" And then taking them into their house, and then obviously shit happens.
Lord. Okay. Okay, so the third one I have here. Okay, this is very close to my heart, but I don't want to talk too much about this one. Alvinophilia.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. Alvinophilia.
Yeah.
You said it's close to your heart.
Not close to my heart. You would know. The thing that disgusts me the most of the human body.
Oh, a fetish about navels. Huh.
For those who don't know, I have an extreme, not phobia. What did you just say? It's more dislike. I find it
disgust.
I find the navel disgusting. Everything about it. Just Jesus, no. Oh, I'm getting the shivers. So it's literally anything to do with the navel and sometimes the stomach.
Okay.
So anything you can think of what you can do with the navel, it's that one, Alvinophilia.
Okay.
And the thing that annoyed me the most when I was bartending, when I was still at uni, people asked me why don't I do body shots, and I'm like, no, God no, someone's tongue in my Jesus, no, I'm not getting about to, no, I can't. It's the most disgusting thing in the human body with so many bacteria. Oh God, I can't. Okay.
Okay, after that breakdown.
Moving on. Axillism.
I think I read about this one as well. The only word I can think of now is axe. I know what it is, I just can't remember what it's about. I can't remember.
Is the desire to have sex with someone's armpit?
Ah, yes. That was the weird one. It's just that axe was stuck in my head now. Yeah, I read it and they were like, yeah, lube it up and do whatever. And I was like, Sure.
Whatever floats your boat. When you said axe, I kept thinking of the that ad years ago. Quick, Mike, get to the boat. Make it stop.
Make it go away.
I love you. Okay, that's my 5.
Yeah, your 5. Okay.
No, sorry, that's 4. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so the 5th one, it's for microphiliac.
Repeat that, please.
For microphiliac.
For microphiliac. Micro, something small. So, fetish for getting aroused by small objects, small beings.
You're right with small. Just think more on the lines of something that scuttles.
Oh, it's that one where they enjoy bugs walking on their genitals. I don't care what you do in bedroom, but please don't bring bugs into the bedroom.
You know what's the worst thing that I can think of? Cockroaches.
Oh, no.
And you know what's the worst part as well about cockroaches? They enjoy being touched. Just in general.
What? A cockroach likes being...
If you ever look at, God forbid, any interaction between cockroaches, they do a lot of touching. And they like it because they have a lot of... I don't want to say nerves. It's the wrong, I think, word to use. But it's...
okay, so they actually like...
But the common one actually to use is snails, because they leave, those slimy trails.
Ew.
And I keep thinking of the belly button with the snail in it. Jesus, no.
But I read somewhere that it's mostly like they like it on the genital area. Obviously also crawling and nibbling on over their entire body, but mainly the genital area. Which... I feel like I don't want to judge people, but
I need a hot shower after this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can give your 5.
Okay, so my 5. I'll start with Climacophilia. Yeah, Climacophilia.
Oh, that's being sexually aroused by people falling from stairs.
Yes.
I was reading up about that one and I thought, that's actually very niche.
And weirdly enough, I shouldn't probably tell people my inspirations for my book that I want to write. But I thought, how about a serial killer pushing people downstairs? And that's all they do. And it turns out because he has Climacophilia. Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting, right? I think that would be a really cool book.
Yeah, actually.
Anyway. Oh, Chasmophilia.
Say again?
Chasmophilia.
Chasmophilia. No, I have no idea.
Arousal to caverns, crevices, and valleys.
But wouldn't that be orifice? Like any orifice?
No, it's specific, like crevices and valley, like something. I don't know if it's because it might like look like a vagina.
Yeah, you do get a lot of representation of vaginas everywhere, basically.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's... I didn't do research on it, but I don't... But yeah, arousal to...
I think that's quite interesting.
Yeah, really, really interesting, that one.
Next one.
Next one. Ooh, Catopatronophilia. Catopatronophilia. That sounds like a Harry Potter.
I was just Expecto Patronum. Is that the sexual arousal for Patronuses?
Yes, you are correct. No.
Damn.
Almost had it. No, it's the arousal to have sex or masturbate in front of mirrors.
Interesting.
Yes. So any sexual act in front of a mirror, doing it to yourself or a partner.
That's very interesting. So it needs to be in front of a mirror.
Yeah. Or I'm guessing like any like reflective object, surface. But yeah, mirror.
Okay.
And then I keep on getting that flashbacks in my mind of these serial killers looking at themselves in the mirror while these narcissistic people while they're having sex. And then I think to myself, were they a narcissist or did they just have that fetish?
But interesting thing about narcissists, one of my favorite podcasts, they actually talked about narcissists. Mm-hmm. And they said that if you ask a narcissist if he's a narcissist, then he would say yes. So a narcissist would actually
admit it.
That he's a narcissist.
That is very interesting.
Mm.
Okay. So they're self-aware.
Yeah. That they're a narcissist. So go check out No Such Thing as a Fish. They have really, really, really cool quirks and jokes and very interesting facts. Like that one about narcissists.
Yes. There's this one that I don't want to judge people, but it really grosses me out. Nasolingus.
Oh, it's people that's aroused by noses, isn't it?
Sucking people's noses.
Oh, Jesus, no.
I can't. It grosses me out so much.
Oh, Lord. But, I think it's because my nose is very sensitive, but
yeah.
Damn, no.
I can't. And then I'll do omurashi.
Okay, my Japanese is not as good as yours. Wakarimasen.
So, omurashi, actually, if you translate it, means to wet oneself. So, it's actually more of a common fetish in, like, Japanese mangas and anime. Hentais.
I was just about to say probably hentai, not anime.
It's called a hentai, but it's technically an anime. Anyway, it's a cartoon. So
it's a sexual cartoon.
It's a sexual cartoon. So, well, if you did not know, hentai actually means pervert.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, just
fact of the
day. So yeah, so it actually just means that you get aroused from having an extremely full bladder and wetting yourself, or your partner gets aroused from seeing you wet yourself.
Is that just not going to the bathroom and taking a piss, or is it literally wetting yourself?
No, it's literally wetting yourself. So standing in the spot and maybe can't control it and then peeing yourself.
Wow.
Omurashi. Yeah.
That's some fucked up shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So there's a whole thing, whole genres of that in definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so my next one, I thought it was just weird. It doesn't really have a philia name, but it's cake farts. Don't know if you saw it.
No, I did not. Cake farts.
It's literally naked women sitting on a cake and farting.
No.
What a waste of a good fucking cake.
Wait, wasn't there a video that went viral about that?
I
feel like there was a video.
I don't know. I honestly didn't do research on that one. Because I thought, I don't think I need to do research on that one. Cake farts just explains what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one I have here is Mucophilia.
Mucophilia. To do with spit? Mucus?
Close, but also not close.
Slimy things?
Mm-mm. It's being sexually aroused by sneezing.
Huh. That is very interesting.
I can understand the concept while you're having sex and then sneezing because your body tenses up for that second. I can understand that.
True.
But I don't really know if it's the act of looking at someone sneezing or you sneezing. It's probably when you are sneezing, the person that's being aroused.
Well, you do get sort of a sensation through your body when you sneeze.
You do. Especially if it's a good sneeze, you know? Yeah. One of those good sneezes.
Where you get shivers.
Exactly.
So maybe I can understand it. I could see it.
I think it's the only one that I actually understand.
Yeah.
The next one. Jesus, I can't. Autogynophilia.
Repeat that?
Autogynophilia.
Autogynophilia. Something to do with meat? I don't know.
No, but I do have an extra one there with meat. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's to do about involving vomit.
Ooh, I did read that one. Yeah. No. I can't.
So this one I find actually quite interesting in a way because the people like to either see, hear, smell, or in worst cases, eat the vomit.
No!
So what they do is they would take their partner to a buffet and choose them food to eat, and they would go back and vomit it up and they would eat it.
No!
Worst case scenario.
Stop. My stomach is... No, I can't.
I know, but I need to go on about this because this is actually quite interesting.
No, my stomach is making me turn noises. Yeah, okay, go on. I'll bear it. Yeah.
Okay, so what they also do is, it's most cases not most cases, but a lot of the cases, it's about, very deep throating, basically.
I thought it was probably to do with deep throating because obviously you tend to gag. So,
but it's either the case of where they want their partner to vomit on top of them whilst having oral sex.
Okay.
Or they want to vomit on top of their partner.
Okay.
Not while having oral sex, just for the sake of it.
Just for the sake of it. Okay.
Or it's just something completely different than any of the ones I've mentioned here.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's a very interesting one.
Yeah. If you could call it that. Sure. Interesting.
I just find it interesting because it goes with... It depends on who is doing the vomiting. It's either about being submissive or being humiliated.
True, that is a big...
Yes, if you are vomiting on top of your partner, that's humiliation.
True.
But if they are vomiting on top of you, it's sort of a submission type of thing.
Okay.
Hey, you can go.
Let's see. Ooh, actorusty. Actorusty. Sure.
Having sexual arousals of seeing an actor?
No. Arousal to sun rays.
What?
Yeah. But, I don't know. Every day. Just aroused every day. Like maybe just laying in the sun
I can probably understand, if you're lying in bed and there's the rays of sun sort of shining through. Shining through.
It makes a beautiful setup for a sexual encounter, but
some sexy time.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And then Autogynophilia.
Is it AU?
Autogynophilia.
So it's cars.
No.
Or machines.
No. So it is arousal to oneself, in brackets, male only, in the form of a woman.
Wait,
so
what?
So the male pictures himself as a woman, and he gets aroused.
That's just another level of fucked up.
Yeah. So he is aroused by thinking of himself as a woman. So it says it's males only, but I don't know if females think of themselves as males and then get aroused. But yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to struggle with pronouncing this one. Selesmophilia. PSE.
So it's
Selesmophilia.
Selesmophilia. No idea.
It's the arousal to stuttering. Yeah.
Okay, that's very niche.
Very niche, definitely.
Very, very niche.
Being aroused by stuttering, which is interesting. And then xylophilia.
It's like xylophones or what?
That would be interesting, but no. Arousal to wood.
Yeah. Oh, is it XI?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because I thought it was Z.
No. So it's an X. So arousal to... It's probably like the smell of wood and like the feeling of wood grain and... Yeah. All those type of things.
Let's just hope he's not a carpenter.
Maybe they become carpenters. Oh, and then Eprotophilia. I probably spelled that wrong. I don't know.
I think we should have made this podcast pronouncing difficult words.
Difficult words. Fuck yeah.
Let me see.
I think I completely misspelled it. Like, completely misspelled it.
Emetophilia. Sorry. Eproctophilia.
Eproctophilia, sure. Eproctophilia.
God, don't tell me it's something to do with butts.
Yeah.
Because, Jesus, what do you call them? They literally gastrointestinal...
Doctors?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
keep wanting to say chiropractic because that's not the fucking word I'm looking for. I forgot it. I forgot about the word, but any case. Okay, so it's the fetish about butts. Don't tell me it's about...
farts. Attraction to farts.
Clearly they haven't smelled mine when I had dairy.
I think maybe that arouses them more. I don't know.
Fuck it. That causes a nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I was so sick. When was it? In this week. I had a piece of pizza and I didn't have my pills with me. And I was so sick that night. I was sick for 2 days.
You're too used to eating the pills and not feeling anything.
But there was a lot of cheese on the pizza.
Yeah.
I fucking regret it. Jesus. Okay, well, I'll finish off with one, which is a weird one, but I find the concept of it interesting.
Yeah.
So necrophilia, we all know what necrophilia is. The thing what I find interesting about it is, one, most people deny any sexual encounters with corpses, which anyone would do. I mean, why would you? But, I mean, the famous people that we know that are necrophiliacs or so-called necrophiliacs are like Ed Gein. I mean, those that don't know, he was used to create a number of scary movies. I mean, he was used for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Basically, Hannibal Lecter is indirectly sort of based on Ed Gein.
Definitely.
I find Ed Gein extremely interesting in a fucked up way. Because what he did was he stole a lot of bodies from the cemetery and, well, he said he didn't have sex with it because the body smelled bad. Okay. But he made a bodysuit that he wore and acted as if he was his mother. Yeah. That's more fucked up than the whole having sex with
he created like...
Trinkets. Nipple trinkets. He made a lampshade. And, oh, Jesus. He did a lot of fucked up shit.
Decorated his entire house.
I know, with a lot of memorabilia from the bodies he stole. And there's also Jerry Brudos. And every time he killed a young woman, he would dress in the woman's clothing, strangle them, masturbate, and then dump their bodies in the river.
Well, there is actually a fetish of a man dressing as a woman and getting aroused from it. Yeah.
Definitely.
It's very, very interesting.
But did you hear about the one that is a basiophilia?
No.
A basiophilia. It's being aroused with like leg braces or any orthopedic appliances or
anything like that. I saw an article where the person was like, they'll be in love with Forrest Gump with his leg brace, and then when he starts running, he'll tell them, okay, no, thank you.
Fuck. So this is the one, I actually wanted to do some research on this one, because I just want to know why. Mysophilia.
I think I saw that, but I can't remember.
It's the one where rotting flesh turns them on.
Yes, I saw that.
I want to know why. What kind of...
There was... I
mean,
I don't know.
Do you need to smell it? Do you need to eat it? Is it just being in the presence of rotting flesh? Is it...
Probably all of the above.
I just want to know why.
There's one that I did not get the name of, that I also forgot. The arousal from getting aroused from dead animals as well. So it goes along with the rotting flesh from... Yeah.
It smells bad though.
I know
But there's one that I saw that was about balloons.
I didn't
even
like form of blow up thing. That's been a fetish thing for a while.
And I mean, I have this fear of balloons. I can't even comprehend being aroused by balloons.
Yeah, I know. So I'll end us off with another three.
Mm.
I'll leave one for you for last. But there's Necrophilia. Necrophilia.
This is something to do about vampires.
It feels like it's supposed to be Dracula, but no. But there is that one as well, where you...
were you aroused with blood?
I think it's hemio because of blood. Yeah. No, it's the attraction to making someone cry.
I can understand that. There's some satisfaction.
Yeah, so they are getting aroused from making someone cry.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's Cymerophilia, which is being aroused by a disaster, meaning...
Is it like a natural disaster or...
Any form of accident, something that happens, like a car accident that happens, getting aroused by that. A disaster that happens, getting aroused by that. Yeah.
That's fucked up. Mm-hmm. That's next level fucked up.
I don't know if it's your fear that turns into like making your heart pump and you're feeling that adrenaline pumping. And
I don't know, because I can't relate. I can't even think about me being in a body of water and being aroused. I can't.
Okay, but that's
even
not that's not a disaster. For you, it will be a disaster, but it's not an accident.
I can't even tell you the amount of times I had nightmares of just swimming. Aimlessly swimming.
There is a fetish for water, though. I saw that one. Can't remember the name.
Poor bastard.
And then there's a specific one just for you, which when I read it, you will exactly know what it is immediately. Arachnophilia.
Jesus, no, Megan.
Yes.
No.
So it's literally the fetish of having spiders and being aroused by spiders.
You do know what's the cure of arachnophobia? It's being introduced to spiders.
I mean, yeah.
Fuck no.
So maybe your fear, your arachnophobia, will turn into arachnophilia. Who knows?
God no. Just saying spider just makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
And then I have to check and I have to check for all of the corners.
All the corners, see if there's spiders.
Interesting fact about people with arachnophobia. Mm-hmm. They do say people with arachnophobia will spot spiders very quickly because they're more alert to them.
But you also spot a lot of things that you assume is a spider, but not a spider.
Exactly.
While reading up on all these fetishes and things, I realized that I don't really have something that attracts or intrigues me enough to...
I mean, I do like a nice V-line, but that doesn't just turn me on.
It's just attractive. It's not...
Yes, it's not a thing that I need. It's not a fetish. It's not something that I need.
Yeah,
And strong hands. I like strong, manly hands. But again, it's not a fetish.
I like veiny hands. Like, I like veins on hands. I don't know why. I find that really attractive. And veins on the arms. That's about it. I find it attractive. It's not a fetish. It's not like, if I don't see it, I'm not gonna...
Yes, exactly.
But yeah.
That's fetishes for you.
Apparently, you can have a fetish for porn without... It's not a certain circumstances. It's not a porn addiction. It's literally you have a fetish for porn. Just to let you know.
So it's like any porn.
Mm-hmm. Fetish of watching porn, and it's not necessarily considered
as
addiction. It's literally just that's what gets you off.
Well, I think we can safely say that any fetish is fine as long as you or your partner don't get into a position where you hurt yourself or the other person hurt themselves. I mean, it's the same with the whole I can't remember what it's called, where you like being strangled while having sex. I mean, there's so many cases of people hanging themselves by accident or asphyxiating themselves. I think it's asphyxophilia or something like
that, along those lines. Yeah,
where they accidentally either killed their partner. I mean, it does sort of fall into BDSM, but
but it's I think they call it airplay or something like that. It's to do breath play, or it's something to do with...
Exactly.
Yeah. But, as long as you don't hurt anyone.
Or hurt yourself.
Or if you're into that and your partner's into that, sure, go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah. As long as there's...
consent.
Exactly.
Yes. And between adults. Consent between adults. Yes. Legal adults. Yeah. So, anyway, that would be all for today.
And next month would be Movie March.
So, anything to do with movies?
Yeah, and I think we have a couple of very interesting episodes coming up with Movie March.
Yes, so stay tuned for that.
And remember to please support us if you can on Patreon. You would find that in the link. And you can also follow us on all our... I almost said you can follow us on all of our Instagrams. Yes, we only have one Instagram. On the social medias, follow us there.
You can find us at Zombie Chickens Podcast on all the platforms.
Exactly. It's not like there's any other podcast with the name Zombie Chickens.
Yes. So please do follow us and support our podcast journey.
Anyway, cheers for years.
Cheers for years.